So if you're having eaten petals and damaged leaves that look like these and you're not sure what it is, you, my friend, may have a slug problem like we did, but not to worry. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use a common household item, the grapefruit, to get rid of this problem. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How-Tos, my home and garden channel. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you remember that we had a raised bed built in the spring and we planted some beans, we planted some marigolds and a few other things, tomatoes and so on in there. And that we got a lot of topsoil right here because we were also leveling out our backyard. And everything seemed to have been going well, everything was coming up very nicely. And then it came to harvest time and we noticed suddenly, we did get a good harvest, but we were noticing that the leaves were damaged. So of course, at first we thought maybe it was some bugs that was chewing on them. You have different types of bugs out there, Japanese beetle and all of that. So of course we went ahead and we got our insecticidal soap and we gave them a thorough soak, once we had reaped our beans, of course. And we just went through, made sure the tops and bottoms were, completely covered. And even though the tomatoes weren't damaged, we went ahead and we also sprayed those as well. And of course, I always make sure that, the fruit is young enough before I do it. Even though this is organic, it's still a good idea to allow a few days before you spray it. And they also tell you on the directions as well, like how many days between, depending on what it is that you are spraying. And so, we did see, in this case, I actually saw the caterpillar there. So I figured, okay, that's definitely what's causing the problem. So I sprayed it and, we did all of that to get that handled. But the problem still persisted. Then all of a sudden, one evening, I went out in the garden and this is what I saw, chewing on the leaves. I came to realize that we had a slug problem. And I don't want to creep you out. I'll keep it, as simple as I can for you, but just a little background on slugs. They do come out at night. They're nocturnal animals. So most times if you have them, you won't know. They like when it's damp outside. So after the rains, you may see them in the morning or if you've watered it really well. So we decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of this. So first thing I did was to reap what I wanted at that point, what was mature, which was the thyme. And we also did the beans, and that was my first tomato. Now, many people will tell you to use salt, which you can, but in that case, you have to take it off of the plant and put it somewhere else and then put the salt on it. And that is not good for your plants. The next option is that you can put, you can get the eggshells, pound them out, and then you can apply them to the soil, which means you have to spread it all over, just not in just one spot. So that's going to take some time, which is fine. And they do give calcium back to the soil. So, that's not a bad idea. But if you want to do it quickly, enter the grapefruit. And in this case, this is ruby red grapefruit, but you can actually use the regular grapefruit. It doesn't matter. And of course, it's usually about $1 for one. And of course, here I'm using my my electric juicer. But you can use any type of juicer that you like. You can use, by hand if you want to, or just the regular ones. The main thing is to make sure that you are not putting a hole in the top of it, or sometimes, the side of it may burst, may split or something. So you want to make sure that, it's nice and smooth. And that's why I like using the electric mixer in this case, because it's pretty even and you don't have to worry that that's going to happen. So I make sure the juice is out completely. But I did leave a little bit off to the side. And it's actually the citric acid in the grapefruit that actually attracts them. And you'll get to see further down in the video exactly how it works. So I'd love to see your comments. If you've ever had, you've used any other type of products apart from this, what worked for you. Because of course you can also use chemicals too. But like harsh chemicals, it's not good for children if they may end up going around it. Or if you have pets, things like that. So I try to avoid those things as much as possible. I try to, make my gardening as organic as I can. And the plus side of this too is that you get to enjoy some grapefruit juice. Lots of vitamin C, really good for you, a refreshing drink in the summertime. So this is definitely a win-win situation. Now, because they like when, it's moist, you want to make sure if it's dry, especially since this is in the summertime, you want to make sure that you're, either the rain has fallen the night before, or it's a case where you just go in and just water it if you didn't get any rain and it's really dry outside. Then the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and place our grapefruit. And what I did was I put one in and then I put another one in 2 days after, just to see how it would work. So one's a little older than the other in there. And then we just leave it there and see what happens. And now just to say that, if you love flowers, you love gardening tips, you love gardening topics, even half as much as I do, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. So once we've placed our grapefruit in there, we're going to go ahead and check it the following day or 2 days at the most, I would say. And, I'm not going to gross you out with what we're going to be seeing here. I try to keep it as, simple as I could, nothing excessive because, we don't want it to be unpleasant. So over here now you'll see that there is one slug. This was the older one. This one was like 3 days after I had placed it, and he's moving away from it. That means that it stayed for too long. Now the one for 2 days is the one I'm going to be turning over right now. And you can see I have my gloves on. I always believe in safety first. So here's a little baby one right there. And this one is a little bit old. You can see a larger one that's on that side. And there are other creepy crawlies as well there. I try to get it so you wouldn't see too much of that. And I'm sorry if this grosses you out, but over here I'm just giving you a little relaxation first before we go on to the next step to enjoy my beautiful cone flowers in the summertime. And these are always so relaxing, great to enjoy in your garden. So now let's get on to the next step, which is basically to bag the grapefruit in a plastic bag. And you want to make sure that the bag is one that doesn't have any holes in it, because if it has holes in there, you're basically back at the same place again. They're gonna come out. And you put them in the trash and you get to enjoy your wonderful harvest like I'm doing here. So just to go over a few steps with you, of course you're going to go in and enjoy your harvest and all of that, but even before your fruits come in, or even your herbs or whatever it is that you're growing, you always want to keep an eye on them, because some of these infestations, especially slugs, it happens very fast. So you want to check them, as often as you can. I would say at least once per day. If you see holes like this, you know that it needs to be looked at. If you're seeing those and you see, like bugs on there, then the first option, of course, is to go in and spray them with the insecticide. We'll spray soap like I did here, and just, check and see what happens. Follow the guidelines that are on the container. And by the way, I'll link this in the description box below for you if you wanted to get one of those, if that may be an issue that you're having as well. Because in the summertime, it's like everything just goes rampant on these plants. If that doesn't work, then it may be that you have slugs, in which case you want to try the grapefruit method that I used. If you prefer something else, that's fine too, but it worked really wonderful for me. It wasn't messy, it was pretty straightforward, so I really, really liked it. So I definitely recommend it. It definitely works. As you can see that it did for me, just a matter of timing it and putting the right steps in place before you start. So we want to enjoy our harvest, we want to enjoy our fruits, our veggies, and all of that. So I hope that this helps you to do just that. I do thank you so much for watching. Be sure to share this with anyone that may be having this problem. Remember to subscribe so you can follow along, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Take care.